It's that time again. Another shipment of oxygen absorbers and bags. And this time, this is from Pack Fresh USA. They sent me 2 packages, and I don't know why. Maybe they couldn't put them into one, but it looks like these are the oxygen absorbers. So we're going to check these out and see what we have. Okay, so these are 300 cc's oxygen absorbers, and they have a food storage guide and my packing slip. And these are going to be the Mylar bags. Okay, premium collection. So I have the bags, I have the oxygen absorbers, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start the oxygen absorber test. I tell you, they certainly pack their stuff well. Ten packs of 5. So we have our jar, and I already have the mark on the jar showing where it's 21%. So we're going to open one of these guys up. Take out one of these. Now these are probably the most different. I mean, these are more rectangular, but they're just a different kind of size of oxygen absorber. Okay, not a problem. And the other thing I like about it is, just like with the Harvest Right, they actually have Pack Fresh USA on the oxygen absorber. So we're going to go ahead and put this down in here. And we're going to go ahead and put it in the water. And there we go. So we got our oxygen absorber on this side, and over on this side we have our control. And right now it is 8 o'clock in the evening, and we'll go ahead and see what happens over the next several days. This is our first dump. We are 11 hours into this. And we have 0 in our control. Been 21 hours, and this is our second dump. So we're up to 394 cc's. And still nothing in our control bottle. We are at 121 hours into the test, and this is the third dump. And I think we're drawing to a close of this test, but I'm going to give this another day and see if it'll do anything else. On our control is still empty. It has been 133 hours for the test with PackFresh USA. So this has just a little bit in the bottom here. I'm going to come in here and mark the level, which is way down here on the bottom. And this would be the final dump, which would be the fourth time partial. And we got up to that mark right there, so we're going to go ahead and calculate this amount. Still nothing in the control, which pretty much tells me that temperature and barometer shifts really do not affect the test. This is 300 cc's worth of liquid, and that is how much this oxygen absorber from PackFresh USA is rated to pick up. Well, it did a good job. Not the best, not the worst, but somewhere in the middle. So this is 300 cc, and it did this 300 cc, which is 300. It did another 300 cc for 600, and then it did 46 cc's. So altogether, this oxygen absorber from PackFresh was able to suck up 646 cc's of oxygen. So a little bit more than double than what it was rated for. We are ready to dissect the oxygen absorbers from PackFresh USA. I've had lots of people ask me to do it on this company, and their dreams have come true. So I have got these in. Each packet is supposed to be 300 cc's, 10 packets to a package, and we have like the little oxygen indicator right here, and these are the oxygen absorbers, and they're a little bit unique because it's a single piece of plastic that's been folded over to make a pocket, and then all the material is inside here, so they're quite rectangular in shape. So we have a total of 6 grams, and we're going to go ahead and open this up, and we're going to peer inside to see what's in there. And just the color is a little bit different. Instead of being really, really black, this is actually quite black and white, almost like salt and pepper. And what really makes everything nice is that I requested and received all sorts of information on the oxygen absorber, the MSDS sheet, and it basically says there's powdered iron, and there's salt, and a word that I just hate to try to pronounce is dichotomous earth, if that makes sense. And I probably did not pronounce that right. Anyway, onward. We'll get into the MSDS or the SDS later on. So we have 6 grams altogether for the oxygen absorber. And we're going to see how much iron is going to be in here. So in secondary ingredients, we have 2 grams which is usually more than other oxygen absorbers. So we're going to do this one more time because I can still see some white specks in here. So it looks like we have 4 grams of iron. So out of the 6 total grams, we got 2 grams secondary ingredients, 4 grams iron. And so if we go by the formula, each gram can absorb 300 cc's. We got 4 grams, therefore we have 1200 oxygen absorbing potential as long as this iron powder has not been corrupted or been exposed too much to the atmosphere. But we'll go ahead and take a look. So if we take the iron powder, and the secondary ingredients, and the packaging, we're back to 6 grams. So we're going to take a look at the spec sheet and the MSDS sheet, or the SDS, and review the any particular hazards, the chemicals, and all that fun stuff you're just waiting to hear. This is the MSDS sheet, or SDS sheet, for PacFresh USA oxygen absorbers. In this first section, section number 1 shows the country of origin being Vietnam. But the most important thing we want to do is scroll down to section 3. Section 2 here has the composition of the oxygen absorbers. We can see that the primary ingredient is iron powder. And then we have basically sodium chloride down here. And then we have this component right here, which is kaolin powder or kaolinite, depending on how you want to pronounce it. But the most important thing here, section 3, hazardous information, that this material is not hazardous. And since this material is going to be next to our food, that is an important thing to remember. So everything on the SDS looks good, and I don't see any issues with these oxygen absorbers at all. Next up is the actual Mylar bag, and I'm kind of impressed on the way they package these bags. It's done very nicely. It's not just thrown together and shipped out, but everything is wrapped quite professionally. In fact, they're double wrapped. And one thing I've noticed that comes along with this isn't this explanation sheet talking about common issues and troubleshooting. And they actually kind of get in there and they describe what a Mylar bag is and is not. And I kind of like this, especially for those individuals who have not had a chance to really look into this, but they give some pretty good information along with the packet. So we're going to take one bag, take a look. So we're going to take a look at this, and it's fairly traditional. It does not have the gusseted bottom, and I really sometimes don't like the gusset on the bottom. The tear tabs are on the bottom so that you'll seal the top, but if you ever need to open it in the future, you open it from the bottom across there. It feels good. I mean, just the initial feel of this, unlike some others I've had, you can tell that this is sturdy, that it's probably 7 mil, and that's what they say that these bags are a 7 mil bag. So we're going to go ahead and just verify that. Okay, so our bag is all the way open, and we have our test kit here, our measuring kit, and everything has been calibrated. So here we go. Okay, so I took 30 samples and the average is 7.0. So this is exactly what they said it was, a 7.0 storage bag. Now, whether it's Mylar or not, that's yet to be said. So the next step for this bag is going to be the burst test, the puncture test, and the tensile test. So we'll send this through the paces and see how it compares to a sample of genuine Mylar and how it compares to all the other bags out there in the market. So the next step is to make our samples for testing. So I have our test jig here for the puncture test, and I have the template here for the tensile test. So we're going to take the bag that I cut up and we're going to make our sample pieces. Now when we do the puncture test, we always puncture from the inside out. That would be more symbolic of a real world situation. So just put the top there and trace. Pack Fresh USA 7 mil. Okay, so we have our puncture test ready and we have our sample for the tensile test. So got all that done, and I have the bag ready for the burst test. This is the funnest one. And as we do these testing, remember, no wagering. Pack Fresh USA 7 mil bag burst test. And this bag blew out the side seam. Pack Fresh USA 7 mil puncture test. Pack Fresh USA 7 mil tensile test. The first thing we're going to look at with the Pack Fresh USA, which is right here, this is the oxygen rating in cc's with this sliding line across here. This blue line is the 300 cc rated, the 300 cc minimum rated for the oxygen absorbers. So if we take a look at where Pack Fresh is, Pack Fresh came up with 646 cc's. So they kind of come into this little group right here. Distribution Services came out at 1358. That's the highest I've ever had. And Wallabies and Amazon Full Seal is down here towards the bottom. On the puncture test, Pack Fresh is right here in the middle of the crowd. It resisted 3,456 grams of force. So right in here is about the average. We have Vacuum Sealers Unlimited down here on the bottom, but remember that's only a 5 mil bag. Pack Fresh was a 7 mil bag, and Distribution Services still holds the lead on the puncture test. Now if we go to burst and tensile test, Pack Fresh kind of came right smack in the middle, just a little bit less in the tensile test as Wallaby. Distribution Services and Discount Mylar still hold the lead. Walmart down here, which claimed to be a heavier bag, was actually a thinner bag. and they're down on the bottom. So that is my results with the PackFresh USA. I hope this has been somewhat helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please put them below the video. And I'd like to thank you for your time. And as always, please subscribe, give me a like, and I will send you some more videos very soon. And once again, go forth and freeze dry the world without fear.